Yeah, Greg Breed at the University of Alaska, Fairbanks. My first exposure to citizen science was that, and then I had a chance to work with the Massachusetts Butterfly Club during a postdoc, and they had amassed this incredible data set, and they were just super engaged and interested in just looking at butterflies. They were less interested in the science, but they had the foresight to actually carefully record in a digital database all of their sightings for 20 years without any involvement of a scientist actually giving them guidance. And when I analyzed that, I found these incredible trends that were almost certainly related to climate change that relate to essentially the entire northeastern U.S. butterfly communities moving northward. And then since then, I've become engaged with eButterfly as a scientific advisor, and also as a vetter of citizen science observations. And I work some at the interface with scientists through a couple of working groups who are trying to engage these groups to use the power of a large mass of people to make observations, to see these continental scale or even global scale changes in insect and other animal and plant communities. I think that the two really impressive things with respect to citizen science that I think are the best opportunities are scientists just being a little bit of a catalyst for groups that are otherwise self-motivated and have their own agency to go look at the world. So we have all these people all over the planet that just go out into wilderness and natural places to walk their dog or to look at plants or to watch birds. And most of those people don't write anything down, or even if they do write it down, they don't then submit those to some formal agency. So if you can lower the barrier for people to take their observations and move them into an actual database, essentially to make reporting observations as easy as posting on Facebook or on Twitter, we can mobilize a huge amount of people to make observations that if you were to send individual scientists to these locations all over the world, it would be prohibitively expensive, whereas it's almost free if we can get people to do that. And the other way. Well, there's two things that I'm aware of. One is there are a lot of scientists that really believe that the quality of the data collected by otherwise untrained individuals is just substandard and can't be reliably used in robust analysis. I think I was probably in that camp until I actually worked with this group and realized A, they were better taxonomists than I was, and most people in butterflies were, and B, they actually didn't screw up that much. They were very, very good, and they had rules about what to report if they couldn't actually identify things that they had completely developed themselves. So convincing scientists that this data is really of a quality equal to those actually collected by themselves or other professionals is actually a big hurdle. The second thing is, I think that there is a trend in citizen science for scientists to ask a little too much of the citizens, and it's not sustainable because they're basically asking them to do things that they're maybe a little bit, they don't want to do so much. So you really have to engage people so that they actually want to do the thing you're asking of them, and that is a reward or something that they're just compelled to do. And then they can return that. So they return the reward to the scientists by actually collecting the data they need, or making the observations, or transcribing the log books in these crowdsourcing sort of things. So those are the two biggest things I see in terms of challenges. The thing that needs to happen, in my opinion, is you just have to lower the scientists and the people sort of running the computers and the websites that are becoming portals for these observations need to constantly lower the bar that is needed to the amount of effort that is required to actually make an observation and report it, so that it's effortless. The less effort it is to actually submit an observation, the more people you'll have actually making them. And it's getting that sweet spot where you're engaging people and you're to do the tasks that you need as a scientist, basically by persuading them to do more of what they already like to do, and then reporting it by and sort of maximizing that reporting by optimizing the interface, mostly through web portals now. That's going to engage the most number of people and organize the data. We will be able to collect incredible amounts of data on plant phenology, bird and butterfly distribution, other animal and plant distributions. If we can just make these portals so easy and interesting to use that people want to do it, and if they want to do it, then it will be sustainable in the long run as a large, potentially millions of individuals contributing over time. And if we can do that, we will have an incredible view of how our world is changing as the climate warms, as the sea levels rise, and as we develop, so that and with that we'll be able to better understand how to sort of slow that down and hopefully stop it in the future.